Shalom. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakha Kodash, Shan Yukabad Gadwala Rakwab Zakwanyam Nawa. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, Wabarakim, Labakaram, Shayasharala. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, to the confusion of faces, meaning those who look like the other nations, but whose spirits resonate with the truth of these scriptures, and that most importantly believe and have faith in the true God of the Bible, being Yahweh, who is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai, who is the only begotten Son. So to all you brothers, no matter how you look, if you have the faith, then I want to say Shalom, Wabarakim to you all, peace and blessings. So through the Spirit, I'm always quoting 1 John chapter 5, verse 19 in my videos. So I wanted to bring it out to make a point through this topic or pertaining to this topic. So this is 1 John 5, verse 19. And it reads, "And we know that we are of the Most High, and the whole world lieth in wickedness." Now, with that being said, if the whole world lieth in wickedness, then that means that, one, the elect will not be of this world. Thus say the scriptures. And two, we're fighting to be, those people. We're fighting to be those men that are not of this world, meaning what? We don't want the spirit of this world on us. And so that's why through the Spirit, I want to make this video topic, the wisdom of this world leadeth to death. And that's truly what happens. The wisdom of this world and everything about it, all of its philosophies, the image of the beast, right? The doctrine, the wine coming from Babylon the Great, it all leads to death. All right. Wisdom of this world will lead you to death. So this is, well, actually, let me hit the back button. I want to first bring out 1 Corinthians chapter 3. This is verse, there we are. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18, it reads, "Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool." So leave him alone, right? Let him become a fool that he may be wise, right? So what does the wisdom of this world tell you? Well, one, the wisdom of this world will tell you that all these plants that you see, the plants, the trees, all the animals, right? Nature, the grass, the flowers, all the insects, the bumblebees, and how the bees can just produce honey, things like that, how a cow can just produce milk. All that started from matter, some matter, and then a particle just transforming some dust, and all of a sudden life just sprang out. Well, that's the wisdom of this world, and that's foolish. What does the wisdom of this world also tell you? The wisdom of this world will tell you that it's okay to be a homosexual. And then all of a sudden, what? Being a homosexual, you have all these HIV, AIDS, you have all these diseases, so on and so forth, chlamydia. Well, all those diseases lead to death. What else? The wisdom of this world will tell you that it's okay to eat GMO foods. 90% of the corn is GMO. Somewhere around the same percentage of bananas are GMO. Whenever you see grapes without seeds, avocados, I believe avocados just came out last year without seeds, all of that is GMO, standing for genetically modified organism, and that's against the scriptures. But all those things, you're not eating real food. Your body really isn't digesting that product, I have to call it properly, because it's not food, it's a product. It's a made-up product from the so-called white man whose biblical nationality is the Edomites, or the Edomites, Esau, Edom. They're the ones that's responsible for all this wickedness going on in the earth. But what? That GMO crap, that GMO food, if you will, leads to death. It leads to all kinds of illnesses, pestilences and diseases, sicknesses, so on and so forth, right? Another thing, you're supposed to let the ground, the whole earth, rest after 7 years. You're supposed to obey something called the land Sabbath. That's why the whole earth is messed up. You got chemtrails in the air, so on and so forth. All these things digesting, or inhaling, rather, Salakia, the air even leads to death. Right? So it says, "Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool." So if any man agrees with the wisdom of this world, let him become a fool. Right? So just leave that man alone. So I have on this other page, I pulled up, I just typed in fool and just sees, looking what popped up. So this is Psalm chapter 14, verse 1. It reads, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no power, there is no God," right? They are corrupt, meaning they're wicked, right? They're perverse. So they are corrupt. They have done abominable works. there is none that doeth good. And that goes back to the point. A lot of people believe that the Lord doesn't exist. They don't believe that he truly created the heavens and the earth, everything that you see, the sun, the stars, the moon. They believe in that Big Bang theory, right? And that's the wisdom of this world, which makes you a fool, which leads to death, right? So let me get Proverbs 12. Proverbs 12, verse 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. And what is the counsel that we're hearkening unto? Well, first of all, the scriptures tell you Psalm 37:37. It reads, or it says, mark, basically meaning copy. It says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're copying our elders and apostles, because ultimately we believe that the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is speaking through our elders and apostles, right? But the way of a fool is right in his own eyes. He's not going to hearken unto counsel, which is going to leave him without a covering during a time of Jacob's trouble, which they don't even know about, right? Another one I want to grab is Proverbs 18, verse 2. It reads, a fool hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. And that's the wisdom of this world, telling you, I'm the man. I did this, I did that. I'm that nigga, right? I'm that man. That's what the wisdom of this world would teach you. But what? The scriptures tell us to be humble, to be low, to be meek. Humility, basically meaning to be low. The Lord came and he told us that he came down to serve. He was serving by doing what? He was fulfilling the word. It tells you that he came in the volume of the book. So he knew he had a job to do. And the scriptures tell you that he was obedient unto death. But a fool hath no delight in understanding. And the scriptures tell you that he that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain, meaning you're going to stay. Basically meaning what? This person is in a alive state. He that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Basically meaning that you are predestined for death. You're predestined to indulge in this in the second death, which is the lake of fire, which are those ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles that will be shot from across the ends of the earth, from various nations, if you will, such as Russia, China, Iran being the big three in the scriptures, right? So delighting in yourself, trying to discover your own heart, as it reads right here, but that his heart may discover itself, meaning your mind, right? All that leads to death. So I'm going to jump back really quickly. So I'm going to read that again and just read 17 and 18. It says 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17 and 18. If any man, Salakia, I'm going to read 18 and 19. So it says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And what's an example of that? Well, the Lord is putting a spirit on these Edomites, putting a spirit on the wicked to come up with this so-called New World Order, right? In which it begins with the microchip, which truly is the mark of the beast. And we understand and know that deep parable by the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that revealed it to our apostles, and that knowledge trickled on down. Now, with that being said, we understand that we're in a time and season where these elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, so on and so forth, the DuPonts, they want to actually bring this New World Order into fruition very soon. We can see the microchip being made mandatory sometime this year. All it takes is a small little catastrophe. And I say small catastrophe because 9/11 was nothing. And 9/11 was orchestrated. To do that over again, that's nothing, right? It's probably a quick phone call. Who knows? But with that being said, the Lord has said he's going to lift up a standard. All right, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. So when that microchip is ultimately made mandatory, the Lord is going to protect those. That's why the scriptures tell you what it says. Because ye have kept the word of my patience, meaning you have suffered for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's name, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's gospel, right? Because ye have kept the word of my patience, therefore I shall keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord is the only one that can keep you from the hour of temptation, which will come across the whole earth, which is what ultimately when that microchip is made mandatory. But the Lord is going to, again, lift up a standard, and the 144,000 and the elect behind them will be saved out of that and ultimately will receive salvation. So we're doing the work of the hopeful elect so that we can fight, fight the good fight of faith, ultimately to receive salvation, right? And to be made perfect and see Yahweh Shai. Okay, now let's jump over. I got one more scripture. This is James, the 3rd chapter. I'll start at I started at verse 13. James 3, verse 13. Who was a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him shew out of a good conversation. Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. Right? Verse 14. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. So just like how you have these dudes talking about how the 12 tribes sign isn't accurate. We don't know who the 12 tribes sign is. We don't know who the 12 tribes are nowadays. Well, one, that shows us that the Spirit of the Lord definitely isn't working with you, which we been knew that. But two, it ultimately means what? These guys are seeking out some kind of notoriety, some kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Vain glory in this world. They want popularity. They want fame, and that's just pride, right? But the scriptures tell you to glory not if you have any kind of bitter envying and strife. So if you have some kind of controversy with a brother, right? And we know those guys aren't brothers. I'm not even going to mention their names. But if you have some kind of controversy, the scriptures say glory not and lie not against the truth. You're not supposed to go out here defiling the doctrine, because just because you have some kind of again, I'm just going to use what the scriptures say, bitter envying and strife in your heart, basically meaning in your mind. Well, the doctrine doesn't change just because all of a sudden now you're mad because you're angry. The doctrine stays the same, right? Now, with that being said, with that example, this is verse 15, James 3, verse 15. The wisdom, it says, this wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, and devilish. You see? Now, hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back really quickly. Because we were here, and we were at 1 John chapter 5, right? I want to go back there. This is 1 John chapter 5. Just to, really drill it home. 1 John 5, verse 19, it says, and we know that we are of the Most High, meaning what? We have an unction to know all things. The Lord imparted his knowledge upon us. That's why the scriptures tell you that the Comforter is the Spirit of truth. And we have that Spirit upon us, right? Which is why we call ourselves the hopeful elect. We're doing the work that the elect were predestined to do. Talked about in these scriptures, going out to the highways and byways, right? Making videos, spreading the gospel. So, and we know that we are of the Most High, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. Now let's go back. This is James, the 3rd chapter, verse 15. It says, this wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly. Meaning what? The whole world. It's of the world, which lieth in wickedness. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, and devilish. Meaning what? It's a deception, right? It's deceptive, if that's a word, right? And that's exactly what these people are doing. But it's all good. At the end of the day, we understand that it's part of the story. It has to happen. Getting mad at these people for switching up the doctrine is basically like getting mad at the doctrine because it's talked about in the doctrine. We're reading it right now. So we don't get mad when these people pervert the doctrine. Ultimately, it's going to lead to their destruction. And it's ultimately what? It's the wisdom of this world, which descendeth not from above. Now, where's the balance? The balance is James 3, verse 16. Okay, verse 17. That's the balance. But I'll read 16. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work, which leads to death. Now, this is the balance, verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, meaning it's separate, right? It's holy. And then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy, right? Because there's one doctrine. Matter of fact, let me grab a quick precept if I can find it. Philippians chapter 2, if this leads me to Philippians. There we go. Right. Philippians chapter 2, verse 2, it says, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. And that's the wisdom that descendeth from above, from only Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the only true living God, the only true living power, right? But anyway, it's already been about 15 minutes. Just wanted to keep this nice and short. And I pray that this was edifying to the hopeful elect. And I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh, and to Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for allowing me to do this video and to do the work. I want to say double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shanya Kabad, Gadwala Rakwab, Kwanyam Nawa, and also Shalawam, Wabarakim, Labakarim, Shayasharala, meaning peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. To the next time, Shalawam.